VVitch is a movie that recently came out, and it's very hard to put this movie into a specific genre or to categorize it, because I can simply tell you it's a horror film, but it's a lot more than that. It's a very artsy film. For me personally, my favorite horror movie of the year so far, I've watched The Boy and I watched The Forest, and I really enjoy this a lot more than that. But the center theme of this movie is about a family. This is all in colonial Puritan times, a family that leaves their plantation that they're located at, their little settlement, and they actually go out into, miles away from the plantation, living in the middle of the forest, starts a farm. This is supposed to be set approximately like 400 or 500 years ago, and they have no idea what's going on. The reason why this movie, a lot of people are going to like it, and at the same time a lot of people are going to dislike it, is because that's a very slow burn. So if you like the more, if you have more of an artsy feel, taste for movies, you're going to really enjoy this movie. But if you're used to having your horror films have a lot more jump scares and your traditional, violence, and it makes you feel disturbed in that sense, you're not going to enjoy this movie. But if you like the character development that this movie, a character development that perhaps, I guess, The Babadook, that would be a good example, where it doesn't necessarily start off like a horror film, but it slowly becomes one. But it's also about the Babadook is about the relationship between the mother and the son. That's the key theme of the movie. In this movie, it's all about the family drama, where they all start attacking each other. And the movie is about faith, their faith with God and Puritan religious values, but it's also the faith with themselves. There's supposed to be this tight-knit family, and because of certain series of events, the family falls apart. It is a slow burn movie, which honestly that means there are parts that are somewhat boring, but looking back at the movie, I wouldn't necessarily take those parts out, because that makes the slow boring parts makes you connect with the family members and makes you care a lot more when stuff starts happening. The main character, the daughter, did a phenomenal job. Certain people didn't like the son. I actually thought he did a great job. He has one of the most disturbing scenes in the movie, and his acting throughout was amazing for me. Another really cool thing that they do is that they talk in Old English, even though it's not really Old English, it's technically modern English, but it's not how we speak. It's all E and stuff like that, the very Shakespeare type of English. And that adds to the setting. Palette of the movie, what that means is everything is in a dull gray, almost filter. I actually enjoyed that also too, because it added to everything being black and white in this world, because everything is due to religion. Religion is such a huge part in these people's lives that you're either a religious person who's completely faithful to God, or you're some sort of heathen, and so you are a witch. And so there's this constant debate where you don't necessarily know what's going on, but about 15 minutes into the movie, you're just oh, it's gonna be one of these movies where I'm gonna see some disturbing shit. Another thing, this movie does have very disturbing aspects, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that it didn't rely on jump scares to try and scare me. The parts that did not necessarily scare me but made me feel very uneasy was just a slow panning of the camera, and it's literally someone's almost holding your head, and it's look at this, and look how disgusting and disturbing this is, and take that how you want. But that made the movie somewhat enjoyable for me, because I am a big horror fan. In conclusion, I like the camera work, I like the visuals, I enjoyed the performance of the actors. I really enjoyed the dialogue, how they went in this Old English type of feel that, in the very beginning, it's slightly hard to follow, but you slowly, I quickly adjusted to the way they were speaking and communicating. I liked the script, I liked the plot. There were certain points that were slightly boring, but should we watch it? Should you watch this movie? I say yes. I really enjoyed it. You're really going to enjoy this if you're a fan of horror films that aren't necessarily The Forest or The Boy, your generic horror films. But at that same time, I just want to emphasize that even though this is a horror film, it's more about the family drama. And that's more important, like religious theme. It's not your generic horror film, and that's why some people might dislike it and might just find it boring. I enjoyed the movie. I give it a solid B. I think you should go check it out. In my opinion, it's the best horror movie of this year so far. Hey guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like this video if you enjoyed my little review of this movie. I will be doing plenty of movie reviews throughout the year.